Hey everyone, it's Richard Metalfan here, bringing you guys another brand new 2021 album review. And today we're going to be looking into the new album from the band Architects entitled For Those That Wish to Exist, which was released today through Epitaph Records. Now, for those, everybody should probably know or have at least heard of the name Architects, or if you're into like the whole metalcore or progressive metalcore, like they're metalcore band based out of Brighton, England in the UK. And these guys have been around since 2004. I discovered Architects probably around 2015, 2016. And I pretty much dug everything they put out. And Architects, for me, is a pretty interesting band. I feel like that, every album they've done, they've just always take like a different approach. There's not like a formula that they stick with. Like even going back to their debut album, 2006. Nightmare, and even the next album after that, Ruin, they are just full of aggression. Also have a little bit more of a mathcore kind of influence. Kind of reminds me a lot of like a Dillinger Escape Plan, but I feel like after that they changed up their style with Hollow Crown, which has like aggression and sort of shows a lot of like technical proficiency, which has a lot, also have a lot more melody, catch riffs, and clean vocals. And then I feel like with the Here and Now, that is pretty much the one album that a lot of people have like mixed feelings about, where it sounds so different. It's more it's hardcore, but after that they just went back to their style with Darebreaker, and I just feel like they pretty much have their style. And overall, this is the band's ninth full-length album, and this follows up their previous album, which came out in 2018, Holy Hell. And I just think these guys, Architects, are just great. Like, just let's talk about, and I feel like with this album compared to Holy Hell, I feel like it's a totally different album. I feel like this is just the next evolution in Architect's sound. And like with some of these songs, they definitely have like a lot of experimentation to it. Let's just talk about like the vocals from on this album. Like Sam Carter does a great job. Like he has like a lot of like does his harsh kind of like yelly screaming singing. It's hard to describe. It's like singing, but he's like yelling it. It's just, and it also has a lot of like melody to it, and I don't know. He's just a great vocalist overall, and he does like when he goes into his soft, clean singing. It's just great. Like it just full of like passion and everything. The guitar work is tight. Adam Christensen and Josh Middleton's guitar playing is fucking great. Just like the riffs they come up with, this just solid, and just like the tone is just so heavy. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Meshuggah and Gojira a little bit. It's just like the tone is there, and and I just love that. Just the guitar work is just fucking great. Bass wise, Ali Dean's bass is pretty much heard and mixed. It's pretty audible, and the drumming from Dan Searle is pretty good. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is "Do You Dream of Armageddon," which serves as like the perfect opener. It's a very introductory song, which kind of just full of like what to expect. It's just great song, and then it just leads into the next song, which is Black Tongues or Black Lungs. I can't even speak today. I fucked up there. And then by Black Lungs, just right from the get-go, it's a very heavy sound, and just the guitar tone just sounds really kick-ass, and I think Sam's voice just sounds really, really good here. Or moving on to Giving Blood. Now this song is a very catchy song. It has a really great chorus, and just really just a jolt of like energy that just goes through it. And the intro, when it starts off, it kind of reminds me of something from like Meteora era Linkin Park a bit. It just has that kind of vibe to it. Moving on to Discourse Is Dead, which just a full-blown like metalcore song with just some really great epic string sections, and just some great screams, mid-range yells, and just some pummeling riffage. And then things get really interesting with the next song on here, which is called Dead Butterflies. Now this song is really totally different compared to what we've heard from Architects. It has a little bit more of a softer tone to it. It has a bit more of an electronic driven sound to this track, which is a very bit of a departure from Architects for what we've heard so far, even 9 albums in, which is really interesting. Saying, like I mentioned before, like I feel like this album, Architects, like every song has like different moods, different vibes, and they've always taken a different approach to every album. They don't have like a formula that they stick with. Anyway, moving on to the next song on the album, which is called An Ordinary Execution. show, which couples sort of like the familiar singing, screaming Sam Carter brings with almost kind of like instrumentals, which kind of sounds very new metal, which has a little bit of like electronics in the background. And there's just some moments to just pick out and just love as well. The intro is just very unique, and the chorus is familiar, and the bridge is very melodic, and the finisher is just makes you just want to bang your head. Improvements, which this song also has a guest appearance. This is the first time since Lost Together, Lost Forever that has a guest appearance. There's actually 3 on this album, which kind of sounds a little bit weird. Sorry, I mean maybe one or 2 songs, but 3 of the songs on here. But this is the first song, and this song has guest appearance from Winston McCall of Australian metalcore band Parkway Drive. And I feel like this is like hearing the the track listing and seeing him featuring on this song, which is like, I'll get this. And this song really just stands out on its own, even without Winston, and just a very catchy chorus that just really just has a great breakdown in there and just makes you just leaving in awe. Flight Without Feathers. Now this song has a little bit of a quiet kind of enchanting sound that just keeps me engaged throughout. Little Wonder there, which is just left. This is a song that just left so much to desire until some of the final moments, which we'll get into later. And just throughout, we are given just like a repeating line of "I want to sing you a different song," and the breakdown has a really great in there. And this song has a guest appearance from Mike Kerr of Royal Blood, and it's a pretty good song. And then we move on to Animals, which is actually the first single that was released from this album. And this is a song that a lot of people compare it to like Bring Me the Horizon, mostly on the more recent albums. And it has like a heavy rock feel with like a synth and just Sam Carter's vocals are just really I think are on point on here, which is like Animals kind of the sort of like the new taste or like the new beginning of Architects in a way. And I feel like this is like the new start. Moving on to Libertine, which has left just a great song. Goliath. Now this song has a pretty crushing, heavy passages from Josh and Adam just on the guitar, alongside with like Dan's like great percussiveness, and it also has a guest appearance from Biffy Clyro or Simon. I fucked up. It's Simon Neil, who's the front man for the band, Biffy Carlisle, and it's just a great, exciting track. Demigod. Now this song has a lot more sort of like symphonic elements, along with sort of like weird kind of like guitar effects and stuff. And it just really creates like a very unique kind of soundscape, which stands out from the rest of the songs on this album. And the string arrangements are good. There's some really great catchy lyrics. Meteor, which starts off very energetic, and then it just gets into like a slower kind of melancholic part. And I love like Sam's vocals here. It has like a gritty, clean tone to it. And then everything ends with Dying Is Absolutely Safe. Now this song is a pretty interesting way to end this album. It's just fully straight acoustic and string dominated. I feel like this is if a song that could be played at like an end of a movie, is like a movie credits, and it's a pretty interesting song, the way that they didn't just end just everything just all guns blazing. You just end everything just nice and soothing. Now overall, For Those Who Wish to Exist by Architects, it's a pretty good album. Like it's definitely another evolution in Architect's sound. Like they definitely experimented more with here. So if I were to give this album a score, I would give this album a solid 8 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the new Architects album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.